All right. So as far as the licensing goes, then I think Christian, you hit the nail on the head, right? So 36-month term, ideally, right? That's kind of what Broadcom is looking for as a starting point. Um, One of the things that we think differentiates us as a provider in the space is the ability to have other offerings there where we can talk about 24-month term. We can potentially talk about 12-month term. We can even potentially talk about month to month, and overage beyond what a customer's commit is. So the licensing piece, I think, is pretty straightforward, right? Ideally, we're looking at a single line item on a sales order with the term in place, and you know, that should be it, right? At that point, we turn over the licensing as of the execution of the agreement for May 1st. Do metering for billing going forward, which we can talk a little bit about that as well. I know there is some TBD there still from Broadcom as to some of the detail around that, even though the process is figured out. It's just exactly how we get to whether that means a new meter that goes in place or the continuing to leverage the meters that are already out there from existing VMware license providers. But let's move off the licensing for a second. And Randy, you're gonna get the $1 million question here, right? So usually when we talk about transitioning licensing to a provider and somebody acting in some form of a any form of a CSP model, in this case VCSP, um, there's usually a support conversation that goes hand in hand with that as well, right? So, what does the Evolve IP Safe Harbor program look like from a support perspective in terms of what can a partner expect when they're dealing with an issue that's level one, level two, level three? What do they do? What do they reach out to us for? What do they reach out directly to Broadcom for, if anything?
Yeah, it's a great question, and the short answer is level one, level two support will stay with the partner, right? Partners know their environment the best. They're in them every day. Most of them have technical ability to handle a VMware stack, and so they're still going to field those level one, level two operational, tickets, if you will. If there's a reason to reach out to Broadcom, that is where Evolve would step in as sort of a liaison for brokering that. Like we would open a ticket on your behalf with Broadcom and then connect you and then step out of the way. Like we're not in your line of business. We're not going to sit there and involve ourselves in supporting your stack inside your data center wherever you're hosted. That isn't going to help you, and that just muddies the water, right? So what we want to focus on is, listen, today, really nothing changes. The vast majority of the tickets that partners are working today on their VMware stack, they're going to handle just like they do today. Whatever percentage they were escalating up to layer 3 at VMware, you would just call Evolve and we would open the ticket for you. That's really it. And I know that this is a hot topic among some of the MSPs where we talked about, because Broadcom has essentially said all support must funnel through a primary VCSP, whether it's a Pinnacle or Premier partner. And a lot of people are scrambling. And when you don't know how to support your environment and what you're going to do, then your end users and your business leaders come to you. And so you have to have a clear answer for that. And that's our answer as part of this program. Nothing really changes. Instead of calling VMware or opening a ticket via the portal, you're just going to open it with Evolve and we will open it on your behalf. Just like O365 and other models today. It's actually become a very common model in the MSP/CSP space. So I do think, to put some people's minds at ease, nothing is, I won't say nothing, very little is going to change from the support model standpoint.